Today's card is a cute and wintry card. It's called Snow Friends, and it has a really fun stamped colored image using some cardstock it's a specialty paper. It's called foil paper, and some snowflakes. This is on a stencil. So a lot of fun techniques are used in this card, so if you're interested, please stay tuned. Today I'll be using this foil paper. This is called Snowflakes Corner, and this is actually a pretty thick cardstock, so that's a specialty paper. And then we also have Janie's Snow Friends stamp set, which has some really cute wintry images and animals on there. And I also have the 6x6 Snowfall template from Half the Press, and this is a thin template. You can use it with all kinds of things: embossing paste, that glitter bead gel, and regular ink as well. So let's get started. Alright, so first I'm going to start by placing my stamp on my acrylic block, and I've chosen this really cute little penguin tree, and I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black. This is dye ink, so since I'm going to end up coloring this in with my alcohol-based Spectrum Noir pens, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this with this dye ink, because that will resist blending with the actual alcohol ink markers, and it won't smear or bleed. I have actually used StazOn in the past, and I have been able to work with that as well, so it just takes some experimentation to see what type of ink works best for you. Okay, so now I'm going to color this in. Okay, so I'm starting with the Cool Grays Spectrum Noir set. So here it is, and I have IG6 and IG4 will be my two colors that I'm going to use for the penguins. So I'm going to start with IG6, open up the fine point here, and I'm just going to go around the outside right here, and then I'm going to come in with IG4 and kind of go over that a little bit and then fill in the rest of that shape. So you can see there's a little bit of a darkness around the outside, but it blends in with the lighter color on the inside. So for the little tiny hands, I'm going to just use IG6. So here we go for this part, going around the outside with the darker color. I'll go ahead and shade a little bit underneath the coat here, and then take my IG4 and fill in the rest. And then I need to go over a little bit of the dark color to really blend those two. Oh, by the way, I'm just using thick white cardstock that's pretty smooth. It's not ultra silky or anything, but it's smooth enough to have the markers sit on top of it without going through and bleeding a bunch, but it's not going to cause your markers not to blend. So alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring this image. Just wanted to give you a glimpse of how to blend the Spectrum Noir pens, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm done coloring the image, and I'll just let you know which colors I used. So for the yellows, I used GB5 and CT4, so GB5 around the edge of the star, and then CT4 to color it in. For the blues, I used pretty much all of them, so except for one. I used TB1, 3, 5, 6, and 9. So that's going from lightest to darkest. And I decided to do a blue theme to match the blue background of the snowflakes. So here we go. Yes, I did color the candy canes blue as well, and then some of the ornaments I put a little splash of gold in there, so that's the yellows. Alright, now I'm going to cut out my image and just leave a narrow border around it, probably about an 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch of a border, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here is my cutout image, which I'm going to set aside for now. And I've also just stamped the Snow Friends onto white cardstock and cut it out just in a rounded shape. So I'm going to set that aside also. And I have my 5" by 6.5" blank white card here. And I've also cut a piece of that metallic foil cardstock to fit just inside my card. So this is going to be probably about 4 7/8 by 6 3/8, I believe. So there's my cardstock. Now I'm going to start using my Snowfall Stencil, but I want to place this on some scrap paper first. There we go. So I'm going to take the Snowfall Stencil and put it right there. And I'm just going to secure it with a couple pieces of stencil tape, which is really light tack tape, so it comes off easily, which is good. So put some along the bottom here. And what I want to do is use my white embossing paste. I'm going to go ahead and cover up the bottom here. So here's what I have. It's this Dreamweaver embossing paste, and it's a little bit thicker than, say, toothpaste. And I've got this plastic squeegee here. So I kind of like scoop this up. You can sort of see the consistency is pasty. So I'm gonna just go ahead and scoop about, I don't know, a teaspoonful onto the top of my stencil here. There we go. So ideally I'd like to get it at the very top so that I can get everything in there. But basically what I want to do is scrape this embossing paste through all the holes in the stencil. So if you have enough in one swoop, that's great, but then you can go back over it until you've got everything filled in. I still got some extra on my squeegee here. There you go. And you want to go until your squeegee is actually scraping along the top of the stencil. It's not just on the embossing paste. Okay, got some extra down here. Alright, that looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape the excess back into my jar here. Put on the cover, and I'm going to just wipe off. I have a paper towel handy, so I'm just going to go ahead and wipe my squeegee clean. That way I don't even have to use water. It just kind of wipes off clean there. And if you do happen to let it dry on here, it's no big deal. Just soap and water should get it off. Now I'm going to carefully remove my stencil tape. And throw that away. Looks like I've got a little bit of embossing paste poking through. That's okay. Now here is where I lift up my stencil and see my beautiful snowflakes. So I've got some extra embossing paste here, so I'm just gonna carefully wipe that up wipe that off with my finger and hope that it stays off there. Since it's the slick surface of that foil cardstock, I'm able to do this cleanly, which is nice. You could also use something like a Q-tip. Might be a little more precise. Okay, now since I also have some of the snowflakes on my scratch paper, I want to lift this off carefully. There we go. Alright, now is time to let this dry completely. I'm going to let it dry for several hours. You could do it overnight, or you could help it along with a hair dryer or an embossing tool. But I'm going to let this dry completely and then finish the card. Okay, so this is nice and dry, and you can still see the nice shiny foil design in the background, but the embossing paste has given us this nice snowy snowflake look. And it does have a little bit of a texture to it too, so that's really neat. Okay, so now I'm going to glue my foil paper to the front of my card and add some penguins and finish the rest of the card. Okay, so I am done with my card. What I've done here is I've glued a strip of cardstock. This is just a light blue cardstock. What you can do if you don't have the exact blue you want is take white cardstock and color it with one of the same blues that you used on the penguins, and that way you'll have a perfect match. And just glue that strip across the card. It is about 1 1/4 from the bottom, and it's 1 1/4 inches wide, 4 7/8 long. It's just going to be the same width as this foil cardstock here. And then this is some of this dot vellum. It's really pretty. It's just got a little bit of a pattern on it, and it's 2 inches wide of a strip, and that's over the blue cardstock, as you can see. And my penguins and my little snow friends here are both foam taped on. Penguins are centered, and you can still see the snowstorm or the snowfall, and it kind of looks snowy down here, which I like. And that is today's cute and wintry card. So if you liked today's card, please stay tuned for this week's bundle, and thanks for watching. In today's bundle we have the Snowfall 6x6 plastic template. We also have Janie's Snow Friends, and this has 24 stamps on it, and there's lots of large focal images, such as these really cute little animal gatherings. So there's some penguins, polar bears, lots of fun little images. And then there's also greetings on here. So it's got Let It Snow, Deck the Halls, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Good Tidings, Snow Friends, A Very Merry Christmas to You, and Season's Greetings. So plenty on here to really use on pretty much all your holiday projects. So I've also got here a Snowflakes Corner foil paper, and this is pretty thick cardstock, and it's got that really lovely metallic shine to it, but it's also got the printed snowflakes in each of the corners, so really pretty design there. And those are the 3 items in this week's bundle. Thanks so much for watching.